gentlemen, it's time! Introducing the legend, the host of over 150 events in 5 continents, global ringmaster of Get in the Ring, Mr. Keith Douglas Wallace!
So you've heard a little of the Get in the Ring competition, but this one is a little different because this is the Impact edition. And after editions in The Hague, Berlin, Geneva, and Lisbon, we're here today in Oslo. Now, this is a different kind of competition because impact is key, which means we have moved our rounds. So what will happen is each contestant will come in and they will give a 1-minute introduction, and then we go into 3 rounds of 30 seconds. The first round is in business model because we need to figure out why they have a business case that is worth listening to. And after that, we move on to the most important topic that is related to this, impact. Let's look at the SDGs and see how much impact they're creating for people and planet. And when that is done, our final round asks them to come up with a proposition for either you at home or for the jury members. So with just those 4 rounds, we're going to choose the winner today. Now, there are actually 2 winners because we have a jury who we'll be introducing in a moment. And that jury will choose one winner. But you at home have been voting to choose the other. So we're going to be finding out a bit more about that later on as well. So 1, possibly 2 winners. Let's see what happens. So let's see. Is it time for us to meet our champions? I think so. Let's go across and let's meet Augusta. We've been friends for years, but today I find out your business acumen. So what are you looking for in these fine startups?
Yes, I worked with a lot of startups, both in Iceland and Norway. And Keith, great to be with you here today. Very excited to listen to Bezos and Repack and their pitch.
Anders, how about you? Are you looking for something different?
Well, other than the team is crucial, obviously, but we also look for the USP, the uniqueness of the technology and the scalability. You know, as a venture company, we need scalability. We need to grow.
Carl, we've heard a little similarity there, but are you adding something to the top?
No, I guess I learned in California, you bet on the jockey, not on the horse. So I'm a serial entrepreneur and I'm now back in the knowledge creation at the university. So I'm looking for the people.
For the people. Well, I think we have 2 amazing people to meet. So why don't we look to the red corner where we have Jürgen. Jürgen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. So Repack is developing sustainable battery systems based on discarded electric vehicle batteries. And our mission is to enable the reused battery revolution for a fully renewable future for everyone. So did you know that we on a global level throw away 6,000 fully usable EV batteries per year? And that this number is expected to increase 200 times by 2030? Then we make the world a better place by maximizing the value of these batteries by repurposing them into high-quality energy storage systems for second life applications, reducing the cost of battery systems by 50% and the CO2 footprint by up to 95%. We are currently working on a product for the consumer market, where we will deploy our first prototypes in June this year, and we're also working hard to scale up the team in order to develop an industrial system by the end of the year.
Very nice indeed. And who do we have as your opponent? In the blue corner, we have Adriana. Adriana.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Adriana. I'm the technology lead at the startup Viseos, and we are dedicated to developing sustainable seaweed-based packaging to fight plastic pollution. So did you know actually that 275 million of tons of plastic waste are generated yearly, and nearly 3% leaks out in the ocean? And we have developed a material based on seaweed, which is 100% bio-based and circular, which can be used to replace conventional plastic in certain applications in which it makes little sense to use materials which last for centuries.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. But I'd like just to say, welcome. We're going to start the battle properly right now. And you know that you can win with this, a convertible loan of up to €500,000, should you be the right winner. And I know one of you has got the potential so to do. So let us get to exactly what we are doing today, which is 4 rounds. This is the Impact competition. It's a bit different. We've just had an introduction. Now we're moving to business model, impact, and need and proposition. You will have 30 seconds on each of the 3 rounds to follow, and we are going to start with Adriana. Adriana, tell us a little of your business model.
Thank you. So there's a huge market potential for our material, and we plan to take a part of it. The serviceable available market amounts to 49 billion euros. Regarding the business model, we believe in a conservative capex model, in which revenue will come from 3 different streams: paid pilot services for packaging development, material production and sales, and as well licensing of our technology to large packaging producers.
Very nice indeed. Let's move across to the red corner. Jürgen.
Yeah, so we will earn money by selling battery systems, and we believe we can reach 8 to 15 million euros in revenues by 2025 in Europe alone. We plan to offer our solutions through 2 options, buy or lease, based on the customer preference. And why should customers buy from Repack? Because we can offer a high-performance automotive-grade battery system at half the price and up to 95% lower carbon footprint compared to battery systems based on new systems.
Very nice indeed, Jürgen. We're going to stick with you because you've explained a very good business model, but how does that create impact for people and planet?
Thank you for asking. So, manufacturing a new battery today requires the extraction of rare minerals and emitting a large quantity of CO2. So we make an impact by providing battery systems with close to no carbon footprint and without the need for mining more rare earth materials. So through reusing discarded EV batteries, we leverage a circular business model to turn battery waste into high quality battery systems and address 6 out of the 17 UN sustainability goals. By 2025, our ambition is to prevent 9,000 tons of CO2 to be put into the atmosphere.
6 out of 17 SDGs. Adriana, the bar has been set high. We move over to you on an impact score.
Definitely, the bar is high. So we promote the use of compostable materials and fight plastic pollution and reduce CO2 emissions. 8 million of tons of plastic enter the oceans every year. From all plastic waste generated, only 14% is recycled. Effort should be put into optimizing recycling processes, but we have to be aware that there are many packaging items which are impossible to recycle due to food contamination or non-existing recycling infrastructure. CO2 emissions reduction comes with the use of seaweed, which is very efficient at carbon sequestering.
Wonderful. Thank you for being so clear. But it is time for us to move on to our last and perhaps the most important round. You have Augusta, you have Anders, you have Carl in front of you. Is there something you need from them, or do you need something from our wider audience today? This is your time to ask, to make a proposition, and to say why it's reasonable. Adriana, what's your proposition towards us?
So we want to gain visibility and broaden our network and be part of the local ecosystem. We're currently looking for funding for closing the guided market penetration stage to produce 500 kilograms of our material, for which we have a budget of 0.75 million and have secured already 0.25. And why our packaging? We offer truly home compostable materials. We use seaweed as the source of our biomass and a green manufacturing process, contributing thus to climate action.
Very nice indeed. Thank you so much, Adriana. So, Jürgen, you get the final word today. Make use of it, sir. This is your chance to win.
Fantastic. So we would love 2 things from the jury and the people watching today. So first, Repack is growing quickly, so we're looking for superstars to join the team. We look for unique individuals in engineering and business development to join us in becoming world leading in reused batteries by 2030. And second, innovative use cases. So as we take down cost of battery system drastically over the next years, new use cases for lithium ion will emerge quickly. So superstars to join the team and innovative use cases.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think it's time to open up to questions from our champion. So, Augusta, we start with you.
Yeah, I'll have a question for Adriana regarding when you're going to expand to other markets and your access to seaweed. Can you explain that a little bit to me?
Yeah, definitely. So this is one of the most recurring questions. how can we ensure the biomass source? And this is something we're working currently with different seaweed providers. Firstly, as a Norwegian startup, we are collaborating with Sintef and other Norwegian seaweed harvesters. But as well, we're talking with partners that are cultivating as well in Europe and outside of Europe. But our aim is to be able to source locally where the material is produced.
Wonderful. Thank you. Are you happy with that answer, Augusta?
I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Super. Carl, Anders, is there a question that goes perhaps to Jørgen first?
I have a question for Jørgen. We know that the cost of new batteries are going to come dramatically down in the coming years. How are you going to compete with new batteries?
Battery systems are coming down quickly, and as a matter of fact, around 7% year on year. That means that new battery systems will be approximately half their price over the next 10 years. And if you look at our cost ambition, our ambition is to reach almost or more than half the price of new battery systems already by next year, and increase that margin towards 2030. So we believe we're already in the next year, we'll be beating them by half and then continue to keep that margin going forward.
Happy with the answer?
Yeah, sure.
Super. Let's move on to Carl. Carl, is there a question from your side?
Yes, I actually lost you a little bit on exactly who are your customers and how do they currently solve their challenges? And the follow-up is, once your customers are done with it, do you then take the batteries back to preserve the impact on the environment that you start out to claim?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Carl. And to start with your first question on who are our customers. So we are developing products for multiple different use cases. And the first use case we're developing for is private consumers. So as adoption of solar PV in private homes is increasing rapidly, so does also the need for storing that surplus power that comes from it, because you won't get that much value for selling that surplus power to the grid. So for a private consumer, it comes down to storing surplus and also avoiding high price hours in the grid. And for an industrial customer, you're actually trying to avoid how much power you consume from the grid at any given time. And then to your second question, what will we do when the batteries really end their life with us? So then we will, of course, ensure that the batteries are then safely handed back for material recycling, because we won't take materials out of the loop. We just want to maximize the value from all possible and available resources in the system.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Superb. Do we have any last question for Adriana before we break and give you the chance to make up your mind? Yes, Carl.
I do. And I mean, fundamentally, we heard about bioplastics and green plastics for a long time. So what is different from your solution? I mean, you save the impact on production, but is it truly compostable?
That's a very good question, Carl. Yes, there's a big misconception on what a bioplastic is. And there's very different types of bioplastics. Some are compostable, some are home compostable, and some are biodegradable. Our material is home compostable. That means it does not require any industrial facility to break down into CO2 and soil nutrients. So unlike PLA and others already bioplastics, which are outside in the market already, our material will degrade in your garden, or if eventually it's discarded in the environment, it will break down without harming any living organisms.
Just a quick comment. I think that's a much more important dimension of your product than that it's made from seaweed.
As well, yes. This is something that we claim as one of our value propositions, that it's truly home compostable and not only biodegradable or industrially biodegradable.
Wonderful. Great feedback. Thank you so much, Carl. Well, I think it's time to hear a final statement from both Adriana and Jørgen why they should win and their opponent should lose. So I think we give Adriana the final word this time and say, Jørgen, why should Adriana lose and you win?
Oh, I would love for both of us to win, because both of us are working on impact. But
I would love that. Period. I would love that too. But this has been the most polite battle we've had in a very long time. So I'm trying to inject a little bit of fire into this one. So tell me, why should Adriana lose?
Oh, I would say that we are in a defining period in history where we're transitioning from fossil fuels to renewables. And this transition depends heavily on ability to store intermittent source of energy from renewable energy production. So demand for battery systems is increasing exponentially. And that is where we come in. And reusing EV batteries is the ideal supply for these storage systems. It's cheap, it's reliable, and it's increasingly available. So we in Repack are working hard to develop both technology and products to enable this emerging play. So that is why I believe we should win.
Now that's a wonderfully positive case, but I'm going to continue to ask my question until I hear an answer on it. Why should Adriana lose?
Oh, if you have to ask, I would say that we are working in a very quickly emerging industry, which is not completely new to this world. While reused plastics and packaging is yesterday's news. Reusing EV batteries is tomorrow. That is why we should win.
So, Adriana, Jürgen is in the technologies of tomorrow and you're yesterday's news. Do you agree?
Not really. But anyways, bioplastics have been there for a while, but we come in with a new technology. We're using seaweed as a biomass source, which is not what most of the plastic producers or bioplastic producers are using. They're using starch, which is land-based biomass source. So in that sense, using seaweed and providing truly home composted materials, I think this is one of the solutions, and of course not the only one, to fight plastic pollution and fight this global problem. And not only that, but as well contribute to climate action.
Super, and I'm going to press you on the same question that Jürgen had to go to. Why should Jürgen lose?
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit on the same side, same kind of line as Jürgen said. Plastic waste is a global problem, and it's a pressing global problem. And I do believe that maybe batteries is something for tomorrow. So let's work on the present problems that we have now, and let's solve the future ones in the future.
Thank you so much. And I love the way that you took it away from Jürgen, made it Repack, so that it was just that little bit removed. Well done, Adriana. I'm really enjoying this. And maybe that's given our jury something to think about. We're going to give them a few minutes just to ponder on who is the winner. Will it be Vizeos? Will it be Repack? After a small interview with Koos of ImpactCity in The Hague, that should give the jury all the time they need. So we'll be back to you in a few minutes. Koos, welcome. We see each other at a lot of these events. Impact is very important to you. In fact, it's in the name of your organization, ImpactCity. What actually does ImpactCity do?
ImpactCity started as a startup program of the city of The Hague. And we are a program all about doing good and doing business. So we focus on companies that have a positive impact also on society.
A positive impact on society. So how do you measure that?
We measure that with the Sustainable Development Goals.
Wonderful. And through the competition that we have right now, the impact competition, you're reaching out because startups are coming from all over the world to The Hague. Is that a specific thing that you wanted to achieve with ImpactCity and the competition?
Yes, we want companies to have international impact. And also as a program, we want to build a leading European ecosystem. So we want to do that with great partners like Oslo, for example.
And the impact competition, what is that going to mean for you as ImpactCity?
Now, what we hope, of course, is that we also attract companies to come to The Hague, to scale up their company to The Hague. But we also hope that companies from The Hague scale up their companies to Oslo, for example.
Wonderful. Well, as an international, I took my company here many years ago, and I can say, I'll say that to camera, it's a great place to set up your business, especially if you're in impact. And with Hivos Impact Investments, the people I normally work with, we're also in The Hague. So it is the city of impact. It is a city where big things are happening. It's also a city that's embracing its world partners. So if you could just look directly into your into your camera, what is your message for any company that's thinking, maybe I'll go to Amsterdam, maybe I'll go to Rotterdam? Why should they come to The Hague?
Please come to The Hague because we are the international city of peace and justice. We have all the capital impact providers here in the city. We have a large procurement program, startup in residence, and we have the greatest impact meetup on November 4, Impact Fest.
Aha. So Impact Fest is going to be somewhere that we're going to see each other next time.
Yes, I'm sure about that, Keith. We will be there.
Wonderful. Then I think let's hand back to our friends in Oslo, because I hear the jury might be ready. So, let's see. Is the jury ready to render a verdict of red or blue? We're just going to ask you yes or no so far.
I am.
Yes, I am.
I'm ready.
All 3 jury members are ready to give their votes, and we are going to ask them to hold up a little something each time. So we're going to be very old-fashioned and say ladies first. So Augusta, is it to be red corner or is it to be blue corner? It's red corner! Well done, 1 vote to Repack. So let's see if this continues. Anders, are you going to go red or are you going blue? You're going red! 2 votes to Repack. Well done, Jürgen. But is it going to be a hat trick? We find out because we asked Carl, red or blue?
I'll be the odd one out.
Ah, the politeness increases. Well done. So Adriana, you get 1 vote, Jürgen gets 2. So he goes through to our final of the Impact edition of Get in the Ring, which will be taking place here in The Hague in just a few months' time. But maybe, Adriana, you might get a ticket as well, because we still have the public prize to vote.
Yeah, I'm learning about Bezos, and good luck to them on their future endeavors. And yeah, super happy with going to The Hague. Looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Adriana, any point you want to make towards Jürgen?
Yeah, just congratulations to Jürgen and the Repack team, and good luck in The Hague.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad to hear that the cooperations have started and that the journey is going to continue for both of our startups. And the journey for our jury members is always going to continue. We thank everyone for all of the questions today, for the answers, and for being here. Congratulations, Jürgen. Welcome to The Hague. We'll see you here in the fall of 2021. And you will have one of the places to battle for that 500,000 of a convertible loan. Who is going to be joining Repack in the Impact Finals? Well, according to the hundreds of votes that have been cast, they will be joined by themselves, which can't happen. So we are going to go with the number 2 on the list, who, incidentally enough, was Bezos. So it won't just be one of the 2 finalists you saw today that will be going to that final, it will be both. So congratulations to Adriana. She will be joining Repack in The Hague. Now, the last thing we have to do is to say thank you to our sponsors, and who are they? Well, they're ImpactCity and the Unknown Group. So thank you, ImpactCity. Thank you, Unknown Group. This has been Get in the Ring Oslo edition. I've been Keith Wallace, and this is goodbye.
Hi there, hard workers, thinkers, doers, dreamers, hackers, civil servants, visionaries, students, entrepreneurs, diplomats, and innovators. Here in The Hague, international city of peace and justice, tens of thousands of people are working towards making the world a better place, every day and in many ways. Our city, The Hague, represents a unique hub that connects startups with governments, international companies, research centers, studios, and thousands of creative entrepreneurs. Whether you work for a United Nations organization, one of the many NGOs, research and education institutions, or your own startup, economic success is intertwined with social impact. We call it the impact economy. It's an economy that has an enormous potential to grow and create beautiful things that benefit all of us. That's why the city is investing in people, places, experiments, and ideas. We can show you many inspiring projects because the impact economy is already here in our city. Discover our stories on www.impactcity.nl. We look forward to meeting you.